Hello and welcome back to Coding Roses. My name is Rose and I'm here to talk about transitioning into tech. There's quite a few ways to do this, but today we're going to talk about bootcamp versus graduate school. Graduate school implies you have to have a bachelor or an undergrad in any topic of any sort, whereas bootcamp does not require that. So that's the biggest difference. Second one is the time difference that it takes for the two of them. A bootcamp can be between 3 to 6 months, that is considering full-time, or if you want to do it part-time, maybe 6 months to a year, whereas a master's is 1.5 or 2 years. It really depends on the university you go for. So besides the time difference, there's also the cost. So the bootcamp that I participated into is in downtown Toronto, and it was between $10,000 and $15,000. That was one of the cheaper ones, and also good reputation. That's what I went for. And then for graduate school here in Canada, for international students is $6,000 per term. For local students is $2,000 per term. This is Canadian dollars. Don't forget that Canada has trimesters, so you pay 3 times that price, not twice. So international students for a year, it's $18,000 or $36,000 for the 2 years. And then for local students, which are Canadians and permanent residents of Canada, for them is $2,000 per term, which is $6,000 for a year or $12,000 for the 2 years. Again, prices are very, like if you're a local student, $12,000 is very similar to the bootcamp, $10,000 to $15,000. The other difference is that when you go to a grad school here in Canada, which from experience, I know, and for my friends, it's very similar to the US grad school. You get paid as a student. You get paid by doing research, by doing teaching assistants. You get paid, I don't know what other things, like you can get side jobs in the department or a lab if you work in a lab. Whereas in a bootcamp, you don't get any sort of financial help and you're expected to pay out of pocket for, I don't know if you get credit or loan or whatever. That is the biggest difference between bootcamp and grad school. Now, the commitments that you have to do for each of them is also very different. So let's take the bootcamp first. For the bootcamp, let's say you're going full-time, right? You're going there from morning to evening, 9 to 5 every single day. You take various classes. They teach you everything related to that topic you want. So for example, I did data science. I did learn data analysis. I learned machine learning. I learned R. I learned Python. I learned Tableau. But besides all those technical skills, they also teach you networking. They helped us improve our resume, our LinkedIn. They taught us how to network, how to reach out to people, how to do cold emails. Those are things that you're not taught in a grad school. In the grad school, you can choose whatever courses you want. Of course, the course load is a lot lighter. For me, I think I had like 4 or 5 courses in total required for my master's here in Canada. I did 4 courses in the first year. So that's why I'm saying like 4 to 5. But it really depends, again, university, department, whatever it is. As a graduate student, you are required to take courses, which is 4 or 5 courses a term, but they're very intense. You are required to do research. You are required to do teaching assistance, so you can actually afford to pay for the school. And you might do publications or any extra other research. This is very different than a bootcamp, right? So in a bootcamp, you go and you focus exactly on the topics of interest, but they also teach you how to reach out and connect to people. Whereas in a master's, your responsibilities are more aligned as a student instead of an aspiring professional, to put it that way. In a bootcamp, they encourage you to network, to go to hackathons, to go to meetups. They encourage you to do all this. And a master's, no one asks you to do all that. It's really up to you to be proactive and do all those things. The school that I chose was because they had this networking component to it. And not gonna lie, the first job you're gonna get is probably not gonna be the ideal job you want, and that's okay. But one thing to mention is that grad school in Europe versus grad school in North America, in my experience, Canada, and I know from US is very similar to Canada, it is very different, and that's a whole different topic of discussion.